The battle began, and the boss still sat and smoked cigarette after cigarette. The client looked at him indignantly and objected. "Hey boss." Looking from under his forehead turned to the client. And at that moment, Pilg and Jaren were preparing for battle. He furiously looked at the Jaren at that moment. While the guy was warming up, there was a verbal skirmish between the client and the boss. "You got scared when they said boss?" To which the clients replied, "You should be afraid, this guy has a very bad temper." The reason for his resignation was not injury, but an attack on a teammate. "If you think he'll be nicer to him because he's just a kid, then we end up having to clean up his corpse." Jared asked, "I don't understand, attacking a teammate is not scary. So you would be the real criminal. Although I'm not in a position to judge you." He cracked his elbows. Around Pilg, he was 3 heads taller than the Jaren. Because of these insults, he wanted to cut off his head, and then he said, "This garbage only dragged me down, I just threw out the garbage." Jaren was dumbfounded, but soon joked, "Ah, garbage disposal. So that's what you're talking about. So you know perfectly well that you are garbage." The boss laughed aside when the client did not understand why he was being cheeky. The guard could not stand it and struck the first blow. This blow was very powerful and lightning fast, that the air shuddered around. But Pilgu did not understand what had happened. "Attacking me for no reason is rude," Jaren said as he dodged the blow. The guard decided to deal a crushing blow with his second hand. But the guy hit the guard in the jaw with a light swing of his leg. The blow was powerful, but not as powerful as Pilg himself. The client could not believe his eyes that such a child could hit the adventurer. Pilg was stunned by the Jaren's blow and did not understand what was happening. Jaren continued, "It was unexpected. Judging by your appearance, I thought you'd be stronger." The guard took hold of his jaw with his hand and glared at the opponent. He considered the teenage smuggler as a child. But his reflexes said otherwise. His punch was similar to that of a pro. The client was sweating from his head. He understood that Pilg could lose now. "Look there. It was just one hit. But the guy is good." Pilg grabbed his shirt and tore it off. Pilg was too powerful and most likely he was a tank. And he said, "Whatever cheap tricks you choose to use, you're still a smuggler." The big man got angry. He used his power at 100%. His skin turned to stone, his muscles got bigger, and there was a very dark aura around him. According to the abilities acquired, each adventurer had their own skills and had their own role. The tank wielded iron skin, giant strength, and increased body mass. Pilg furiously exhaled all the air. The atmosphere became even more tense. "So this is the real adventurer," said Jaren. The adventurer, waving his arms, rushed at the Jaren in full fury. He jumped into it, but the Jaren was able to dodge it. A large pit formed under it, the concrete began to crack and many fragments flew. He continued to strike, but the Jaren dodged all the time, and in the end, Pilg lost control. He began to hit and destroy everything in the area. With one blow, he punched a huge hole in the wall. His physical strength is about the level of a decent truck. If he hits a person, then all the bones in his body will be broken. The boss asked him to be faster and prevent all the destruction. He threatened to cut his salary. The tank was sure that victory was on his side and began to advance on the Jaren. "I'll tell you what, your pathetic tricks can't penetrate a pro's body." "It doesn't sound so bad," Jaren answered, grabbing the armature lying next to him. This blow was to decide the outcome of the battle. Jaren stood up and was ready to counterattack, and once again Pilg rushed at him. It was the most powerful blow in his arsenal. He was ready to kill for his ignorance. Jaren dodged the blow. And with a lunge, like a samurai, he struck him. Because he knew that a creature that can concentrate a powerful destructive force at one point deliver a crushing blow. This lunge was so powerful and strong that the shock wave took on a noble blue color. Pilg could no longer fight. He just collapsed, coughing up blood. The client could not believe his eyes that such a young guy could knock down an experienced adventurer. Jaren standing in the stance of a samurai and looking at the lifeless body of Pilg. Pilg said in a hoarse voice, "Where did you learn such a thing? What are you talking about?" "I don't know what you're thinking, but you're wrong. But there is a possibility that he saw my father." Jaren remembered holding his head. Depending on the skills and results of antitherists, they are assigned the following ranks, from lowest to highest: stone, copper, silver, and gold. Depending on the rank, there are various benefits such as permission to enter dungeons and tax reductions. Despite the fact that chaos reigned in the world and unprecedented creatures arrived on our Earth, useful artifacts also came to our world. These artifacts were in the dungeons, which were guarded by the same mighty demons, and in order to get them you had to fight with them. But before taking them out, they had to pass a test. This is all due to the fact that many of them possessed incredible power. If this power falls into bad hands, expect trouble. That's why the Adventurers Association carried out these checks, and then levied taxes in accordance with their value. However, there were enough illegal immigrants who violated these rules. They lured adventurers who did not want to pay these huge taxes.